Good morning. It's Jay again. I think it's February the 24th, 2020. And it's 10 weeks since Christine has passed. And my current mood is maybe a mixture of things this morning. I'm not really sure what I'm going to say today. This is going to maybe be one of my raw ones where I didn't really script anything to say today, because that's kind of in the mood I'm in. So I'll ask forgiveness in advance to excuse my rambling here today, as I try to sort through my emotions online, which I'm not so sure is a smart thing, but I'm going to do it anyways. "10 weeks, and it seems like 10 minutes, and it seems like 10 years. It seems like both. And, last week was really difficult. Not that any of these weeks have been easy, because they haven't been easy. But I thought about 2 weeks ago, I kind of missed. I thought I missed. How can I put this? I think I thought I took a corner. I turned a corner, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I thought, oh, okay, I'm not feeling so bad. And then last week hit, and I was really raw and undone most of the days that I was trying to move through. And I'm beginning to realize a lot of things more and more about what grief does to your senses, how it messes with your senses. Try to give some examples. Quite often, I might be out shopping, out in a crowd of people, and I feel, or I think I hear Christine's voice, and I stop and I look around to try to locate her. And then I of course I come back to my senses really quickly and say, no, I don't know what I heard, but it wasn't obviously her. So it messes with how I hear things. Now, Christine drove a blue Focus, and there's another person in the High Park that drives a blue Focus. And every time I see that car, I think I see Christine driving it. Or I think I see it, and it's not even close to what Christine looks like. So it messes with the way I see things sometimes, and it happens in other places. I'll be again in a large crowd of people, and I'll scan the crowd, and I think I see her face for a moment, and it's really disturbing. So it messes with your hearing, it messes with what you see, even the smells. There's so many smells that remind me of Christine, and this is kind of a funny one. I was here the other day. I'm at Claremont State Park, and I said this in the memorial service for those who were there. That Christine loved the smell of skunk. I don't know why she did. She just did. And when I got here the other day, there was a hint of skunk smell in the air. And of course, it reminded me of her in a very strange way. Another other sense that I smell, I'll catch someone that maybe wore the same perfume. It's just weird how it messes with your senses. It's about the only thing that it doesn't mess with, or maybe the two senses that are left. Touch and taste. It doesn't seem to mess with those, except that I miss them. I missed touching Christine, holding her hand, and I miss the taste of the sweetness of her kisses. I miss that. So grief messes with, I think, at least for me, with every one of those senses except for those two. Those two seem final. Grief doesn't seem to mess with those for me. And then it's all painful. So 10 weeks I was going to just hang around the house today, and I just couldn't. Everybody was still kind of sleeping, and so I decided to escape and grab some coffee and come down by the river again and see if I can find God down here. And I know He's here. He's not hiding. I might just have difficulty finding Him because of my own stuff today. I'm beginning to understand how much a fantasy world grief can produce for you, and how much you have to break out of that fantasy world in order to move forward. Again, I'm not moving on from Christine, I'm moving forward. And the fantasy world involves wishes, dreams, regrets, and a few other things thrown in there. And you kind of stay in this fantasy bubble of memories of all the things that you had hoped to do that maybe that you know that you're not going to do. It's a mixture of all those things and more, and reality seems to interfere with those things, and you get annoyed about that. At least I do. I've been able to do most of the practical things that are necessary in order to move forward. There's still a bunch that I have to do. Settling my estate is almost done. Getting all those things in paperwork in order, and all those kind of things that have to be done, and bank accounts, and all those kind of things that, like I said before, the end of life often gets reduced to a bunch of papers, a pile of papers. And it's kind of cold. And I hate it. Because Christine was so much more than that. So here I am. And I came down here to lose myself in the woods. And I'm going to take a walk in the woods on a trail and get lost for a while and throw some things around in the woods when I can't scare anybody. But the loss is so palatable today. Did I say that correctly? Palatable? Then I'm really finding hard to speak today. And I want to come online and share my grief process with you, so hopefully it's helpful, but I'm not so sure I'll be so helpful today. So let me talk a little bit about Christine, and maybe that'll help. If you read my post this morning, I told you how much I miss her silliness, because there was a lot of laughter in our marriage. There was a lot of laughter in our relationship. So much laughter. So much joy in that. And early on in our relationship, she would write all these letters, and she would say it, even up to recently, how much I taught her how to laugh at life, how to laugh at herself. Certainly she could laugh at me because I gave her good material. And she always was grateful that I was able to bring laughter back into her life. And if you saw her picture this morning, I posted on Facebook, the silly face. I mean, she taught me how to be silly again. because even though I was, kind of a funny guy and could always make people laugh, silly wasn't part of that repertoire. It was serious humor. But she taught me how to be silly again. And we were able to do that consistently together, just in the darkest times of life. We would be able to make each other laugh and be able to enjoy those moments of laughter. And I could really use one of her silly faces today. I can use some laughter today. Since Christine has passed, my sense of humor has taken a big hit. And although recently people have saying, hey, thanks, Ron, I appreciate that. I appreciate your prayers. Everyone that's praying for me, thank you. But my sense of humor has taken a real hit. And over the past few weeks, people have said, hey, you sound better, you look better. Not sure what that means. You're smiling more. And maybe that's true, and I'm not debating that. But I have to tell you that a lot of it is because I sense people being uncomfortable with my grief. And they start to squirm a little bit if I start to talk about it. And so a lot of times that's why I come on air. I come on live because, I can't see anyone squirming out there about my grief process. And I can talk about it and I can express what I want to say at that moment. And so when I get together with people face to face, we don't really have to talk about it much because they've already seen how I'm doing and it's all good. And I'm not sure that is. I'm not sure what that is, except that's the reality my new reality where I find myself, where often I am the person who has lost his wife. Jay has kind of taken has been pushed out of the picture a little bit. I change the atmosphere when I walk into a room. I used to be able to do that and bring joy and encouragement. Now I feel like I'm a big downer when I walk into a room. And so I hide it. I go for the jugular of encouragement. I'm trying to make sure that people feel comfortable. And so that gets rather difficult at times. And it's why I retreat to the great outdoors here and enjoy some solitude. But I come online just to share this so everybody can hear it all at once. And I don't have to keep on saying it. So this Thursday, I go to my first professional grief counseling session, which is something I've been talking about with everybody, and I finally made the appointment. And believe it or not, this is the first time I've ever been to counseling in my life. I'm always on the other side of the table, so I don't know what to expect. So you can pray for that and see how that goes. Appreciate that. I am rambling, and I'm sorry. I am rambling. But Christine was this amazing woman who touched every avenue, area, nuance, nook and cranny of my life. And 10 weeks without that influence has wrecked me more than I can express. One of the complaints, and here maybe this is the point today, I don't know. We'll see. Let me get into this. One of the things I've been complaining or talking or discussing, arguing with God about from the very beginning, even before Christine passed away, I was having this argument with God. Some of you know the years of abuse that I went through by my father's hands, the physical, the emotional, and the sexual abuse that I walked through growing up. And how God miraculously delivered me from that. I praise God for that. But that was a good season of my life, that started in pain and suffering and with no hope. And so when Christine got sick the first time, and then the second time, this continuing argument I've had before she passed away and after she passed away is that, my beginning was so awful. My beginning in life was so awful, so painful, so full of suffering. Things were done to me that I don't ever want anyone to experience. But the middle part of my life was absolutely beautiful and healing and refreshing because God brought this wonderful human being into my life. Brought Christine into my life. I got to marry her I got to spend life with her. For 37 years. So my argument has been with God, and I thank God that He's gentle, that He's patient, that He allows us to come with these things to Him, to wrestle these things out. My argument would have been, okay, my beginning was so awful, so hard, so painful. Does that mean my ending has to be now? And I told God that I think I already paid my dues. So my argument with God is, does my beginning and my end have to match, kind of a thing? Is there some kind of justice there? Is there some kind of reason there? Is there some kind of understanding there? And that has been a consistent argument of mine with God. Thank God He's good. That He can put up with me on this. But it has been difficult to wrestle this thing out. And I'm not done wrestling with it. I'm just being honest. I'm just being truthful here. Look, I have said this, and I will continue to say this. I know God is good. God is love. God is kind. God is faithful. God is compassionate. This situation I'm in right now is not good. Cancer is not good. My wife dying is not good. And I'm not saying God thinks it is. I'm just trying to wrestle these two things. I'm grateful for those 37 years that I got to be married to that most wonderful heart. I'm thankful for the 39 years I actually got to know her. But I am devastated in the sense of spending the rest of my life without her. That's just the truth. So 10 weeks into this, and I don't think I'm any clearer than I was at the very first day when she left me and went to be with the Father. I've done, like I said, all the things that I need to do, all the practical stuff. I pretty much have kept course. I've returned to ministry almost immediately. yeah, it's just as when Christine had filled every avenue of my life, every area of my life. Like I said, not to have her in those areas is hard to figure out. It's hard to figure out sometimes. And like I'm rambling again, I know, and please forgive me for that. I'm trying to find the words today. I'm trying to let you in a little bit more rawer moment instead of the past few ones where I kind of wrote things down in order to say them. I didn't write anything down today. I'm just sitting here quietly on a picnic table looking at the Hudson River, trying to listen to Father God speak. About what my next steps are. Because this fantasy world of memories and pain and sorrow and grief makes it hard to do all that, to make plans, to strategize, to move forward. And that's what I'm trying to do. And it's hard. It's hard. Yesterday, as we were during church, and then we had a board meeting afterwards, and we spent a lot of time talking about the future of our church and what we need to do to increase discipleship, increase our effectiveness on the community, And they were all great conversations, and there were, some good dream casting that was coming forth from other people. And that's important to me, and that's, I love serving as pastor, although it's rather difficult to do that without Christine now. But there's something bigger coming, and I just don't know what that is yet. There's a radical shift in my life. Now, Christine's death, that's a radical shift in my life. But there's something else coming, and I don't know what that is. And it's made me a little nervous in the sense of, because, all of us who have been married for some time know that there are multiple radical shifts in the course of your life when you add children and all that kind of stuff. There's multiple radical shifts in the seasons of marriage. But I always had Christine to help me navigate them. And now I don't. It makes me a little nervous. Because she was wise, she had insight, she had discernment, and she had great love for me. And that was that was strength that I could rely on during these times. All right. Let me pull it together here for a minute. What have I learned in 10 weeks? I learned how much more desperately I need Jesus. I always knew that, but I can't make it through a day without. I never could before, but I really can now. Every day, every freaking day is a struggle. It hurts. It sucks. It's painful. And I know I don't have the corner on grief. I don't have the corner on sorrow or pain. We're all going through crap. We're all going through stuff. It's all painful. And I of the stuff that I know that you are going through, I'm praying for and want to continue to pray for. So let me know. I'm just expressing my pain out loud as much as I can. I made a statement yesterday in church that I just want people to know that that I've been with Jesus. And someone came up to me and told me just that. And other people have come up to me recently and say they see Jesus in me as I walk through this stuff. And that's good, and I am glad about that. But I don't understand how it's coming through. Because I am different. I've been changed. And I believe what I believe. I know what I know. I will always talk about the goodness and kindness of God because He is. I will always try to preach the gospel in everything that I do. I'm sorry. I think I'm not sure how helpful this is today, except to say that it's been 10 weeks. I am struggling. I am hurting. I don't know what one day is. That's not the right way to say it. I don't know how to move through my days at times. I have lists. I have things to get accomplished. I work on my list. I do the things I need to do. I prepare for the things I need to prepare for. I talk to the people I need to talk to. But every day is a mystery to me now. Because like I said at the beginning of all this, my senses are all screwed up, all messed up. And this thing, this grief, this time bubble that grief produces is disconcerting. It messes with timing and thinking and emotions and all that. I know I've said this before, but C.S. Lewis, after the death of his wife, he said, death is like an amputation. Yeah, I can relate to that. I can relate to those words. So I don't want to leave this on a downer, or because I want these to be encouraging. So I will say this. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. So this morning, I am down here by the river to soak in His mercy. Because I need it. And you need it. So whatever grief or sorrow or pain that you're going through, I am sorry. And if you let me know, I'll pray for you. If you need someone to talk to, just direct message me and I'll be glad to listen. Can I urge you, if you are walking through similar things that I'm walking through right now, go get some help. Don't hold it inside. Grief is hard, but you're supposed to go through it. And if you hold it, if you swallow it up, it will swallow you and spit you out. So don't do that. So as painful as it is for me to talk about this online sometimes, and again, you don't hear all the rawness, it is helpful. And I thank all of you who have listened today. I'm going to get off because I know I'm going to lose containment again, and I'd rather go cry in the woods. So, God bless you all. Thanks for listening, and thanks for going on this journey, at least virtually, with me. God does love you, and He is good. Bye for now.